The MLB has just released the 2023 schedule. So we're going to just take a glance over it, some important dates, some important games, some of the special games that the MLB does, and all that. We're going to cover it. A couple schedule changes, we're going to cover that as well. We will have more specific videos on the Red Sox and Yankees schedule coming out in the coming days. But this is going to be just an overview of the 2023 schedule, how it's set, the changes on divisional, how many times we face divisional opponents, playing every team now in the MLB. We're going to cover all that right here on Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek, and let's get straight into it. Obviously, it's a big schedule change. It's making the schedule a lot more balanced, but it is unfamiliar, very unfamiliar, especially in terms of balance of interleague play. Every team's going to play each other every single season. So, for example, the Red Sox are playing the Dodgers at Fenway in 2023. So, in 2024, they will have a series at Dodger Stadium. 2025 will be back at Fenway. 2026 will be back at Dodger Stadium. That's how it's happening. Or, for example, the Red Sox and the Diamondbacks are playing at Chase Field. And I'm pretty sure it's called Chase Field in 2023. So, in 2024, it'll be at Fenway. Obviously, just flip-flops back and forth every year. For baseball fans, it's great because if you're a team like the Atlanta Braves, for example, you haven't played Shohei Ohtani for a long time. I don't even know if you have played him. At least I don't even know if you played him in Atlanta. And you definitely haven't seen the Shohei Ohtani we're seeing now in these last 2 years. And as an Atlanta fan of Atlanta, if you live in Atlanta and you only go to games in Atlanta, you haven't seen the Shohei Ohtani a bunch of other people have had the privilege of seeing. Now you're going to get the chance to. You will get the chance to because the AL East and the NL West haven't played each other like at all. The AL West and NL East haven't played each other like at all. I think the last time they played might have even been before 2019. It was at least 2019. It might have even been before that. It's been a long time. So the fact that now these teams get to play each other, like Mike Trout just played the Phillies this year, or maybe the AL West played the NL East this year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know the AL East hasn't played the NL West in forever. The Mike Trout just played against the Phillies this year for the second time in his career. The Phillies are essentially his home team because it's the closest team to where he grew up from in New Jersey. He's only played them twice in his career. Now he's going to get to play them every single year, but he's also going to get to go, quote unquote, home to play the Phillies every single year. I think that's great for baseball fans. I think that's great for them. Some big dates during the season, though, before we get fully into the divisional, how many times you're playing divisional opponents, all that stuff. The big dates, obviously, the All-Star game is going to be in Seattle at T-Mobile Park. That will be on July 11th. Now, opening day, if weather permits, opening day will be March 30th, which would be, obviously, weather permitting. It would be the first time every single MLB team opened on the same day since 1968. I think that's huge. Make opening day for everyone. Make it a big thing. I think that's super important for baseball because it's one of the biggest days of the season, first games. All 30 clubs are also going to be scheduled to play on the 4th of July. That makes sense. I think there was another date. All 30 clubs will also be playing on Jackie Robinson Day and Roberto Clemente Day. That's set and done. The Cardinals and Cubs are going to be playing in London next year. June 24th and 25th, a 2-game series in London. Obviously, the MLB will be going to London in 2023, 2024, and 2026. They will go to Paris in 2025. So expect to continue seeing these London games over the next few years. And the Phillies and Nationals will be playing in the 2023 Little League Classic. No Field of Dreams game yet expected. There will be construction going on at the Field of Dreams, so the MLB doesn't want to be playing there if there's a bunch of construction going on, obviously. So there may not be a Field of Dreams game happening in 2023, but I'd expect it back for 2024. if it isn't on the schedule for 2023. So just keep that in mind. There may not be a Field of Dreams game in 2023. Now, I think we're gonna get into the divisional play and how many times teams play in the division. Each team will have 52 games in division. If you don't want to do the math, I'll do it for you. It's 13 games against each divisional opponent. So, for example, my Red Sox will be playing the Yankees 13 times. They'll play the Orioles 13 times, the Blue Jays 13 times, and the Rays 13 times. That'll be across 4 series. So it'll probably be a 4-game series and then a 3-game series, 3-game series, 3-game series, or it could be 2 4-game series, a 3-game series, and a 2-game series. That's probably how it'll wind up happening, because I don't think they're gonna have any 5-game series or 1-game series. You know. Now before this, it's been 19 games with 6 series between divisional teams. So you're cutting off 2 series, cut off 7 games from that. Now, there's obviously going to be, some speculation of, how much is this going to balance the schedule. I think it will a decent amount, especially with now having a third wild card. And it is going to be a little weird because the AL East has proven to be a very good division this year, but they also have to beat up on each other. So what happens when all these AL East teams are going to go play the AL Central a lot, and the AL West, and the NL East, and the NL Central, and the NL West? Are they going to just have better records than everyone? Maybe they'll stumble on some NL West teams. Who knows? It'll be very interesting to see how the dynamics of having a quote-unquote balanced schedule. It's not fully balanced, but it's more balanced, definitely much more balanced than it has been. How will that affect the standings, all that? Like, we might have 4 AL East teams in the playoffs this year. We might. Don't know if it'll happen, but who knows? It could. I don't think it will. I think there'll be 3. But we could have 4. 4's a possibility. 4's a possibility for any division, but the AL East obviously seems the most likely for that. But now that they won't be beating each other up so much, will those teams will they have better records? That's something to be considered. The fact that the Dodgers don't have the Rockies to beat up on, and my Diamondbacks a little bit, but we're not going to get into the Diamondbacks not being great. But maybe the Yankees don't have as many tough games against the Blue Jays and Rays and Orioles and Red Sox. Maybe they have a better record because they replaced some of those games with like the Rockies and the Pirates and the Reds and whatever teams just aren't good. Maybe. Who knows? We'll obviously have to see how all of that plays out. We don't know how it's going to play out. Obviously, it's never happened before, but it is very interesting from a fan perspective. Now, last but not least, this 2023 schedule, it's not truly balanced. Like I said, it should make the new wild card format should make it so the best teams get in, and it's not that a team misses out because their division was so strong and they got to play against them all the time, or a team gets in because their division's super weak and there's no one good in their division. It should help with that. Will it? Who knows? We don't know how it's gonna happen. It's not like they're doing a trial. This is like, okay, we're going, diving in head first into this new schedule, and we're gonna see how it plays out. This is what we think it's gonna do, and we hope it does that. But I think for baseball fans, it is a win. Baseball fans, it's a win for the MLB. It's a win for teams. Especially though, I think the biggest one though truly is the fans. You get to see your team play all the superstars across the MLB. Every other year, you will have a chance to see Mike Trout or Aaron Judge, or at the very least, every other year, I should say, you would have the chance to. You'll get to see the big stars of baseball. You'll get to see Jacob deGrom. You'll get to see, Rafi Devers. You'll get to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You get to see Ronald Acuna Jr. Tatis, that's a different situation. Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts. I could go down the list. Julio Rodriguez. Even Adley Rutschman can be thrown in that conversation with Julio Rodriguez as future stars. Wander Franco can be thrown in that conversation. There's a bunch of guys every MLB fan base will have the chance to see at the very minimum every other year, and it's a massive win for MLB fans instead of only getting to see a guy like Mike Trout twice in however long, and twice in almost 10 years, if not 10 years. I think it is 10 years, twice in 10 years, for people to see Mike Trout. Like, that's ridiculous. You'll get the chance to see your favorite players from other teams, the biggest stars, all that stuff. You'll get a chance to see them at a minimum of every other year. It's a big win for baseball fans. And if you're not excited for this as a baseball fan, I don't know what to say to you. But that's going to wrap this thing up. We will, like I said, we will have videos on the Red Sox schedule, going more in depth on the Red Sox schedule and more in depth on the Yankee schedule. Those will be up in the coming days. Thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls. Make sure to check out all the links in the description. Bleacher Brawls podcast, website, Instagram, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post. My name is Derek. Thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls, and I'll see you next time.